Hi, friends. Welcome again to the Crusader Corner here in the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Voice of the Crusaders with you here inside Wheeler Center this week as we get ready for Mr. Crusader tonight. It was a great weekend for Abbey Athletics. Women's lacrosse, they keep rolling. Baseball, they took 2 of 3 against Mount Olive on the road, and it was senior day for acrobatics and tumbling. We'll recap that and more this week on the Corner on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And now welcome back to Crusader Corner. We look back at the week that was in Abbey Athletics. Senior days all around here on campus. Men's volleyball along with acrobatics and tumbling. In women's track, McKenna Palazzi placed 5th in the 5,000 meters on Friday night. She did it in 19:03 as part of the Gotta Run invite. Men's track, James Thierfelder won the 400 meters on Saturday. Both men's and women's tennis splanked NGU 7-0. They also swept Johnson and Wales and SWU by identical scores. For the softball team, they took 2 of 3 from SWU on the road. They beat the Warriors in a 3-0 shutout on Friday night and then mounted a comeback 9-7 in extras. Abby Craver and Alana Brown earned the combined shutout, and after they were down in Game 2, a Hallie Mealy home run tied it, and then Sydney Pond's RBI single put them in front for good. Baseball in what was a very anticipated series for them this weekend as they went on the road and scored 7 in the final innings to beat Mount Olive 9-7. Sean Johnson, is he human? That is the question as he hit a home run on the first pitch of the game. They also won 7-5 Saturday, taking 2 of 3 in the series. Women's lacrosse is rolling. They crushed Emmanuel 23-7. Olivia Carlino had 7 goals. And for acrobatics and tumbling, on an exciting senior day, the team did fall short to Converse, but Desislava Yordanova scored a 9-5 in the open element and a perfect 10 in the open pass. When we come back here in the Crusader Corner, bowling coach Rich Gucza joins us to recap the season. Well, that and more when we return on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
They actually help with building the inner man of each student.
My coaches have been great. I've really transformed.
You get a sense of community. To be an athlete and to be involved in that has been a really fun experience.
And we're back here on this episode of the Crusader Corner. Voice of the Crusaders, Jeffrey Childs, and we're joined by our special guest today, men's and women's bowling coach Rich Gucza. Rich, welcome to the Corner again. Another visit for you today.
Thank you, Geoff. Appreciate having me back.
Well, it was a conference tournament weekend for you guys this weekend and postseason play for the Crusaders and men's and women's bowling, and a good start for the women, but then they fall in the end 4-3 to both the number 1 seed Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters and the Tusculum Pioneers. But after the regular season, it was a good showing by the women.
It was. I'm super proud of the women, where we started at the beginning of the season, even from when I started to where we finished this weekend. It's a win for us.
Well, you had good individual performances. Dana Sezenik, which you had talked to me last week, one of your top bowlers by average. Caitlin Mars had a nice ending to you guys. And then with some freshmen from my neck of the woods there in Michigan, a lot of promise for this program for the future.
Absolutely. Again, the development and the growth that we saw this season was absolutely amazing. And the recruits that we have coming in next year, I think we're in a really good position to make some noise for sure next year.
And after that finish for you guys in the Conference Carolinas tournament on the women's side, the losses as you guys dropped those, what did you see individually and then collectively that kind of spurred you on and refreshed the hope after those results?
I think bowling is much like golf, very much a cerebral game. We grew so much mentally. There was always talent there, but we had this learning to win mentality on the women's and the men's side, and also a never lose, always learn philosophy. So I just think the way that the team handled themselves in the conference championships showed all of the work that they have been doing this season coming to fruition.
And that foundation now that the women's program has, and you're just a couple of years into this job and building this program, what does that foundation look like? How has it changed? And what kind of message can you send to recruits coming here to the Abbey in the future?
Well, I think again here you're absolutely going to grow as a bowler. We have the tools, we have the technology, the philosophy, the culture that is creating an environment necessary to succeed. I think that we also are an environment where you're going to grow as an individual, as a human being. Again, mind, body, soul. We very much believe in that here at the Abbey, and again, just if you want to come out a better human being, ready for the world, and a better bowler, I don't think there's many places that are going to beat us.
On the men's side, a strong individual performance in the beginning by them, and then you defeat Walsh in round one of the Conference Carolinas tournament. That was a 4-1 win, pretty dominant win there by the men. How were they able to overtake Walsh in that first round matchup?
Again, a ton of talent for sure, and I think again for the men, they really want to come out and be strong, be physical, and throw a lot of strikes. But they managed their emotions. They came in with intent and purpose, and again, things that we've been working on, really working on the mental game at this level. A lot of guys out there, they throw the ball really good, but only so many of them are really succeeding because it is such a mental game. They came mentally prepared.
Well, yeah, we saw that in the beginning. I was there broadcasting on Friday, first ever bowling broadcast on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. You guys rolled 7 straight strikes in that Walsh win. That was the catalyst, and then some great individual shots by Bryce Catahan.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think we did it twice, and then I think we had 6 in a row at one point. So we averaged 239 that first set. So we came out absolutely guns a-blazing, and we were at home, we were comfortable. I think that helped a lot too. But Walsh was they didn't lay down. I mean, they came out really at us, and that was probably a good thing because it got our guys going immediately.
Second round as the Crusaders advanced after the 4-1 win over Walsh and take on the 6th seed Kentucky Wesleyan. Belmont Abbey fans might not be familiar, but again, Conference Carolinas and the GMAC, kind of a new affiliation for men's and women's bowling, but they were not strangers to you guys. You had seen Kentucky Wesleyan before. It was a tough loss in the second round as you fall there in the best of 7 in the baked, as they call it, 4-3.
Absolutely. We came out strong, 3-0. And we probably got a little overconfident, to be honest, and a couple of errors there, but it was a type of pattern that you had to be on, you had to stay on, you had to make your makeable spares, and we just missed a couple, and the tides turned, and again, mental game. Kentucky Wesleyan, they got the upper hand, and they didn't give up, and they're a well-coached team, and they're a great group of guys, and honestly, if we were going to beat by a team, that was a team that we're okay with.
Well, and for the program, we measure success, wins and losses. It's kind of what athletics is. But beyond that, you've laid a great foundation for this program, and we saw it in the award ceremony for both the men and the women, multiple Crusaders being placed on the first, second, third team, all conference, all academic. What do you think of when you think of this group and a few of the names for the Crusaders fans that took home some laurels there?
We on the men's side, Caleb Huggins, Hunter Hawley. Hunter Hawley was also all tournament for the conference championships. I think he threw 11 out of 12 strikes for that first set. But the bigger picture is the academics and the character of the team. We have just a very well-rounded group of individuals, not a bad apple in the bunch, and they're here for all the right reasons. So much more than bowling.
And beyond that, bowling, one of the reasons and one of the many reasons you get them here, you talked about it earlier, mind, body, spirit. Belmont Abbey's academics, our athletic programs, especially in the last 3-4 years, so much success. And then the spirituality, how you can lead people to be closer to Christ. And as we say, in God all things are glorified. What are recruits talking to you about with the program? What are you telling them? What are you anticipating here as we go into next season?
Again, bowling is one part of it, and it's while it's a big part of it, it's a small part of it. There's so much more to this college experience. It's almost an experiment, and I swear the least I do with this group is coaching the X's and O's of the sport. That comes so easy, but it's so much more about the entire human being, and that's what I love about the Abbey.
Rich, it was a great experience for me to broadcast bowling, and I thank you to help me doing it for the first time. It was a challenge as anything, but I appreciate you for that. I I appreciate just for the camaraderie and the access you've given me, both the men and the women's bowling programs all season, and I thank you for that, and we look forward to more bowling broadcasts in the future, and I thank you for being on the corner today.
I want to thank you. You're amazing, and honestly, the entire athletic administration, everybody that came out to support us this weekend. It was nice to finally have a tournament close to home, and we felt the love. We really did.
Hopefully more in the future. Rich, thank you for joining us today.
All right, thank you.
All right, when we come back in the Crusader Corner, we will preview this upcoming week of athletics here at Belmont Abbey College. You're watching the Crusader Corner on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Oh, this? I was playing catch a little too hard with the dog. He's got quite an arm. I've been through this before. It'll be better in a couple of days. Probably.
Visit one of Ortho Carolina's specialists right away by logging on to orthocarolina.com. Leave the waiting to this guy.
Come on, honey.
Ortho Carolina. You improved.
Back here today on the Crusader Corner here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network, and we look ahead to the calendar to what the Crusaders are up to this week here on campus. On Tuesday, women's golf is at the Conference Carolinas Championships in Georgia. Tennis is on the road as well. Baseball. On Tuesday, they are at home against Lander for now. Men's volleyball also hosting King Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And then on Wednesday, it's a matinee game for men's lacrosse as they host Lees McRae at Alumni Field at 3:30. Women's lacrosse are just down the road playing at Queens in Charlotte. And then on Friday, softball here at home. They have their senior day coming up. They're hosting Lees McRae at 1 p.m. Men's women's track at the LR Outdoor Open. Tennis, both the men and women are hosting Francis Marion. And then on Saturday, it's a full day of action here on campus, including baseball as they host Erskine in a doubleheader to end the 3-game series. Softball will entertain King in a doubleheader as well. Men's lacrosse is on the road at Chowan and Acro. They are taking on the number 1 seed, Limestone, in the Conference Carolinas tournament. Well, that'll do it this week for the Crusader Corner. Thanks to Rich Gucza for joining us here as our guest this week, and thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you watching every week. Come back here next week for the Crusader Corner on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Raise the red.